We got a lot to talk about, but what were your thoughts on the Jays game last night?
I'm happy they won. Listen, it was a good win for the Jays. I mean, you go into LA against one of the toughest teams and one of the best teams in the NL and get it done. They got it done late. Still had the same issues with runners on base, Springer hitting in double plays, Kirk, same issues. But my biggest takeaway from this game, honestly, is the Michael Grove situation.
Yes.
So through the first 4 innings, he was dealing. I think he had the Jays at like batting 257 or something like that. Comes out of the fourth, umpire says, come over here, checks him. He has a substance on his pants, on his nice, crisp Dodger white pants. Umpire says, you know what, go and change your pants. Instead of maybe ejecting him because it could be some sort of substance there. Comes back, he gets lit up. The Jays end up hitting 800 against him after the pant change. So I find it very strange that someone can clearly be dealing with some sort of substance on his pants, and then once that substance goes, excuse me, I'm getting a crazy echo in my ear right now.
I took my earpiece out.
He can't deal anymore. It's just very strange to me that was allowed to happen.
What was the post pants batting average?
800. 800. I have it here. Yeah, before changing his pants, Grove allowed Jays hitters a 267 average. In the clean ones, 800. I don't know if it's because it's the Dodgers. I was thinking about something that happened before. It was Clark Schmidt with the Yankees in May. He was told to go wash his hands and was able to pitch. Same thing happened with Scherzer. Mm-hmm. He was told to wash his hands, came back, but the ball kept sticking, and he claimed it was the alcohol and the rosin together, and then was ejected. So I just don't know, what are the rules here?
Yeah, no.
Is it just having the substance? Is it discretion?
Well, what is the substance? But how is the umpire going to know? Like, do they have like a test where they can put it in a tube and shake it, and if it turns blue?
Well, that's true. Well, I mean, if he touches it and it's completely sticky, you know what they're doing. Like, remember when Domingo Germán got ejected, got suspended? Yeah. He had it on his forearm, his hand, all over his pants. It was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Like, clearly this guy's cheating. And I think Grove was cheating yesterday, too. No one will say it, but I totally agree with that.
I don't disagree with you. I mean, I don't even know if he's definitely, cheating. It's more a matter of, like, where is it coming from? Barney, can you hear me?
Yeah, I thought
all right.
last
Welcome
week
aboard.
you guys thought I might have taken a lip reading class to see. No, the audio I could not hear. Nice to be back. Hope you guys had an awesome week. Let me just chime in a little bit. I think if you're going to ask a guy to change his pants, whatever, there has to be a test or someone go in with them and take those pants and clearly see what is on it. That is where he wipes the ball. It could have been dirt, could have been a substance. A little ironic that they do bat, and I didn't have that number. Thank you, Albert, for sharing. 800, obviously a little different than the way he was pitching through the first 4 innings. But there should be someone from Major League Baseball taking these pants. And there also could be the fact that's messing with a pitcher's mind, man. You're in a groove.
Yeah.
You're throwing great. Now they ask you to go change your pants, throws you totally out. Now you're messing with this guy's mind. So was it something illegal? Was it a substance? Or was it just the fact that they took him out of his rhythm and messed with his mind? Either way, it worked out for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah, it was just like his 6th start ever. He's a rookie pitcher. His ERA was north of 6 heading into this game, and he's dealing at the beginning of the game, which can happen. Like, I'm sure he's a good pitcher. There's a reason why he's with the Dodgers. Mm-hmm. But he changes the pants, substance is gone, and he gets destroyed. I mean, that could, like what Barney's saying, right? It could rattle his brain a bit, but it's very strange to me. And it's interesting that it's the Dodgers. Something happened with the Yankees, like I mentioned, and the Mets, but Scherzer ended up getting pinked.
I just think that if you're asking a guy to take his pants off, you probably should and stay in the locker room for the rest, because clearly we have an issue here.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Yeah, if you're asking a guy to take his pants off, buy him dinner first.
Yeah. But it's true. It's just craziness to me that they're like, all right, you can change your pants, but you can come back out. It's a Major League Baseball game. They just changed his pants.
This is what I'm saying. There's different rules for different teams in baseball.
All right.
Just how wasn't there someone from Major League Baseball? Hey, we think you're cheating, or you could be cheating, and let's test the pants. Let's have those pants in our possession and test them. Ridiculous.
Yeah. Regardless, it didn't work though. So Jay still ended up winning.
Yeah.
Pulled it off. Your boy Dalton Varsho.
Yeah. My boy Dalton Varsho, look, that guy has been struggling. That middle of the order, well, not middle of the order, like 6 through 8. the 9-hitter's the 9-hitter, but like, you're talking about the likes of Kirk and Barshow, even Chapman to a degree, who had obviously a good night last night.
Bichette's struggling too.
Kiermaier, Bichette, they sat him down because they were worried about his pitch selection and stuff like that. Not like he needed a rest. It wasn't like they're thinking of multiple games, but give him a day off. Yeah, no, I mean, and then he comes through with a big hit, and then it's what have you done for me lately, league? But it was interesting to me to watch that all play out, for the bullpen to blow it again, and then to actually get the job done in Dodger Stadium against a very good team. I think it's look, the momentum starts and ends at the end of the game because it's a 162 season they play every day, but it was a big win for the Jays. After playing, not great baseball. We got a lot to talk about still with Patrice Bergeron, Saquon Barkley, and others. Barney sticking around, and we will get back to that chat after this on the Parleh Show. All right, we're back here on Bet99's The Parleh Show, and we got a lot to talk about. We were talking a lot about the Jays off the top, but we really wanted to get into a couple of more breaking stories with Matthew Barnaby, who joins us from Ottawa. Matt, first, we'll stick with hockey, and that's Patrice Bergeron deciding to hang up the skates, as they say. Heck of a career. Albert, you got a bunch of stats you want to tell us about, and then Barney, you give us a synopsis of what you think his career has been.
Yeah, just Bergeron's achievements. The guy's unbelievable. One of the best two-way guys ever. I think Barney might agree with that. Stanley Cup champion 2011, two-time gold medal guy, 2010, 2014, World Junior champ, six-time Selke guy, over 1,000 points in 19 seasons. Hell of a career.
He literally is the epitome of you want in a captain, a player, a teammate, all of the above. And then you could take him off the ice, a dad, a husband, friend. He's the epitome of class and the epitome of what a first ballot Hall of Famer is. There's never been anything that he hasn't accomplished. And you read off all the stats, all the accomplishments that he's had. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Stanley Cup champ, I think, is most important, but all the things that he's accomplished, and the best two-way forward in my generation that I've had, and I had a chance to play with Yuri Lettinen. Michael Pekka was a really good one. Yuri Lettinen was probably the best one besides that I had played with or seen, but I don't think anyone in the last 20 years compares to Patrice Bergeron on the way that he played the game. Just put up good offensive numbers, was first-line PP guy, and probably the best defensive forward of his generation. So outstanding career, and just the epitome of what it means to be a teammate for any of the young kids out there, and the way that you play the game the right way.
Yeah, lots of talk, in sports. NBA just did it, but the NHL changing the names of trophies from yesteryear of people most people haven't heard of to guys that have actually played, and slowly that's happened. We had the Rocket Richard Trophy and the Marc Messier Leadership Award, and if they were to change the Selke, Barney, I think it's going to be the Patrice Bergeron Award, would it not?
Yeah, I think so. You win it 6 times, like absolutely ridiculous to win that award. And I think when you look at Selke, listen, I've talked with the Lady Bing, just get rid of that award and come up with something else.
Were you nominated for that ever?
It's so I was out of that after game 1 of the season. Yeah. When either I got in a fight or I told the ref to go, you know what, or one of the players on the other team to go, you know what. So, no, don't like that award. But, yes, this would be Patrice Bergeron's. I also think they should add defenseman of the year and offensive defenseman of the year, because it's always an offensive defenseman that wins it, and it doesn't mean he's the best defenseman in the league.
Absolutely not. I mean, Erik Karlsson was much the best defenseman all around, but he's not your stay-at-home defenseman. He's not a guy you're trying to build around that way. So that's a very good point, especially when they do have MVP, which usually goes to a forward, which is kind of like the best offensive player or whatever. Yeah, no, that's a good point. I never really thought about that.
Your best offensive player that wins the Art Ross and usually the MVP. Yeah. And you have your best defensive forward. I don't know why we don't have that on the back end. I think it will come at some point, but we also know changing of the guard with the powers above certainly takes some time.
Yes. Marchand gets a C in Boston, right? Kind of makes the most sense.
Sorry.
So.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I'm not sure. I know Lucic just went there, but I don't think they're giving him the C.
No.
No.
The only reason that might happen, to be Well, it would still be Marchand probably instead of him, but like, how long is Marchand going to be around? If you wanted to have a stopgap,
right?
Captain, you could maybe say Lucic, but it wouldn't be. It would be Marchand. He's been there forever.
No, we're still waiting on Krejci too. Krejci still needs to make a decision on his future.
Yeah.
2 big losses for the Bruins, man. Losing both those guys if it happens.
For sure. It's going to be interesting for them because obviously the historic season that they had, fell short in the playoffs. But man, we'll see how that all shakes down. And not only do they have those 2 guys, Krejci and Bergeron, not to belabor this, but they're also on really good contracts, right? Like they took way less money. So like it's not just, they lost them, but it's not like they got $15 million in cap space as well. Like they only got like $4 or $5 million to open up. Well, you're not getting Krejci and Bergeron for $5 million out on the open market. That's for sure. Right, so that's going to be an issue for them. Speaking of some contracts, Ilya Samsonov, we talked about it yesterday, got awarded $3.55. Granted, a short window of what we can see about him, but do you think that's a fair price for Toronto? It's not the most important piece of business, I don't think, this offseason, but now they're going to have an extra window here to maybe buy out Matt Murray. What do you think is going on with the goalie situation in Toronto?
Yeah, I think Matt Murray's a necessity. Again, we've talked it ad nauseum, I think, on and off camera. Matt Murray wasn't the right fit. This is a guy that couldn't stay healthy, and he had signs where he was really, really good, but you got to stay healthy. That's paramount to having success and being a part of a team and trying to contribute. As for the deal, I think I would have loved for it to be a 2-year deal or a 3-year deal at $4 million. Short term, it's fine. It's just worrisome for a team like Toronto if he has another really good regular season, what they're going to have to pay him. But, for one more year to see where it is and where you're at. And I think Brad Treliving can come in and make his own assessment and go from there if there's other goalies on the market if it doesn't work out. So short term, it's totally fine. Matt Murray, he'll be a backup somewhere this year on probably a $775,000 deal.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a good point. Why the Leafs didn't think about giving him a 3-year, $10 million deal and him getting the security of that, and the Leafs, perhaps buying into a couple years of free agency if he has a great year. And if he doesn't, I mean, you need 2 goals. He's not playing more than 50, 55 games anyway, so you're still going to need to spend $4 or $5 million on another goalie. So, even if he's the 1B at $3.5 million, I don't think that's that bad either. So I think they could have maybe got a longer-term situation, Albert.
Yeah, maybe, but we also have to remember this isn't Brad Treliving's guy.
Yeah.
And I feel like what Treliving's doing with this team is he's giving a lot of people one season to prove themselves. Clearly, as some of the upcoming free agents, I think he's doing the same thing with Keefe. He could give Keefe a contract, but he wants to see what he can do with the team. I think the same thing with Samsonov. You don't have to go out and get a goalie. This guy can perform in the playoffs. He did win the first round. You have a backup in Joseph Wall who proved himself in the playoffs. I know it's a small sample size, but listen, if you have 2 goalies under $5 million and one has already proven himself to be a pretty good goalie in the regular season in the playoffs, it's not a bad deal.
No, but it's just that if he has a great season, it's going to be $6 million.
Right, and maybe Treliving doesn't even want to re-sign him anyway. Maybe he has his eye on somebody else, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know a lot of things. We don't know the money he might have wanted on a 3 or 4 year deal.
Yeah, that's true.
Well.
Yeah,
it could have been in the $5 million range, like Jack Campbell when he left. So those are so many things that we don't know. If I'm taking over a team, if I'm not sure about a guy, this is the way I go about it. And I think that's the way Treliving is approaching this with Keefe. Prove it to me. I want to see for 82 games what you guys do and in the playoffs. Then we'll reevaluate and go from there. If he has another good year, I'd be surprised if it's not a 3 to 5 year deal for Samsonov.
I'm worried about his wear and tear a bit. He's never played more than 44 games. He played 42 last season, I think. Had a knee injury.
He's not going to play more than 50, though. That's
what I'm saying. Well, he's going to play, 52 games, but it's still 10, 11 games more. Let's see. He's never done that in his career. So with his injury issues, if that starts to happen midway through the season, now you're thinking about, hopefully Joseph Wall can carry this thing for the rest of the way, which is risky. You're leaning on a rookie or sophomore now.
So you're usually the expert on this, so I'm going to ask you, is it possible that they needed to do this to open up this buyout window again for Matt Murray?
Yeah, so going to arbitration opens up a second buyout window. So it plays into what Treliving probably wants to do, wants to buy him out. And so I think the first year against the cap after buying out Murray is like $687, and then it's $2 million. But who knows what's going to happen? There's so many different ways. They can buy him out. They can trade him, or if he's injured, they throw him on the LTIR, but apparently he's healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. Game 62, I think we knew that there was going to be a buyout here.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
All right.
Has been, yeah.
Yeah, on the other side of the break, we're going to talk a little bit about some NFL. Some Saquon Barkley getting a deal done. I don't know how exciting he is for what he got, considering what he was franchise tagged at, but we'll talk about that. Josh Jacobs seen leaving Las Vegas, just like the movie. And we got some Sauce Gardner with Aaron Rodgers. A couple of Jets for Matthew Barnaby as we get down on the other side. Plus our picks for the Parlay coming up. And Sarah Perario will be joining us as well later on in the show. Coming up. But for now, we take a break here on Bet99's The Parlay Show. We will see you on the other side. All right, welcome back to Bet99's The Parlay Show. Rob Conway joined by Matthew Barnaby in Ottawa and Albert Vartanian sitting to my left. We're going to get into the NFL, and we're going to get into some breaking news, breaking-ish. You know, this isn't CNN or anything, but it's breaking news enough from this morning that Saquon Barkley has agreed to a deal, Albert, with the Giants. $11 million. He was tagged for 10.1. Questions about whether he'd sit out on that. It's a one-year deal, but you got some further details to perhaps make us understand why he settled for only $900K more.
Yeah, so it's up to $11 million, right? Because there's incentives worth $900,000. Those incentives are he has to hit 1,300 rush yards, 11 touchdowns, and 65 receptions. But the big thing here is he's going to play, and I think Barney actually called this, and he's going to play. But the problem going off after this season is they can still franchise tag him.
He didn't get that franchise tag exclusion.
So he gets a bit of a bump with the incentives, but I mean, it's going to be the same thing all over again probably next season.
Yeah, Barney?
I remember wanting to take my kids to like a restaurant when they were like 4 years old, and they'd stomp, and then I'd give them a sucker, and then they'd come along to the restaurant. They gave him another $990 in incentives, which hopefully he gets. But this doesn't do anything. This doesn't move the needle in any which way. I never thought Saquon would sit out. I think he's really a team guy.
Yeah.
I think he really wants to prove himself, his value, and get a long-term contract. Listen, the franchise tag always goes up, except if you're a running back in the NFL. It's come down from like 12 million now to 10.1 million. So listen, they gave him a lollipop. He took it, and he's going to be at training camp. He is there now. So, it's not great for the running back market. I don't know if the running back market ever changes again. Does it do anything to Jacobs, who was seen leaving Las Vegas, like you said, Nicolas Cage? But it doesn't do anything. It's just, this is the market. This is the ownership. This is the GMs saying we are not going to overpay for running backs anymore. This is just where they are and where they're probably going to be for a long, long time. And the only way to change it is to hold out. But we saw what that did to Le'Veon Bell when he came to the Jets after holding out with the Pittsburgh Steelers. It was a disaster. So you sit out. It's probably the right thing to do. But you're never making that $11 million, $10 million back again. So they're in a conundrum. It's a tough thing for a very valuable position to be undervalued in the market.
It's a finite time, your career. You know that, Barney. As a professional athlete, you have a certain amount of window, and $10 million is $10 million. And like you say, you're never getting that $10 million back. And the only worry you have if you're Saquon Barkley is, like, if you're Josh Jacobs, you could think, if I come and play, they might like work me out of the offense a little bit to like downplay my value. That's not happening to Saquon Barkley.
No.
That team can't win without him for sure. And they just made the playoffs. They want to win. So his fear is injury, right? Like that, and he's had those problems at times. So there is that. But he knows, even if I come back and get hurt, I'm going to get franchise tagged again. Like, they're not letting me go because I got hurt, unless it's a catastrophic injury, which, of course, we don't want to happen, or any injury for that matter. But Josh Jacobs, I think he can fear a little bit, Barney, that I could come back and not have as good a season. Like, I'm at my highest value now, and maybe I need to sit out because I don't want to risk, like I say, being worked out of the offense or just not having a great year on a really not a great team.
Yeah, you're stuck in the middle. There's no right or wrong decision. It's whatever you're comfortable with. If I'm Josh Jacobs and I come back and I collect my $10 million, I put it away and I keep putting it away, I'd be surprised if both of them aren't on a franchise tag next year. Just that's the way they do business, and that's the CBA. and maybe in the next CBA they work it, hey, you can only be franchise tagged once. You can't be franchise tagged a second time. I think that's what running backs should be talking to their union about. Listen, I sat out and lost a couple $1 million during a lockout. That's totally different. Where I didn't agree with it, that was just us as a union trying to get better salary and pensions going forward for us and for the younger guys that were coming through. And the players before us did this. This is totally different. This is management ownership saying, we are not going to pay this position. We are not going to pay you guys. And I think it's part of the union and the players to sit down and say, hey, franchise tag, we can only be done it once, and then we move on.
Yeah, and this is according to Michael Florio. So he also will get a boost if he gets tagged next year. So if they do tag him, it's a 20% raise over his cap number this year. The cap number would be 11 million, means the next year's tag would be 13 and change. And another thing, Barkley he's in a better position than Josh Jacobs. He's the guy. He's in New York. And I was just looking at his endorsements: Dunkin' Donuts, Nike, Visa, Toyota, Pepsi. He's making like over 10 million off of the field. So he's in a better position where he's making the money. He can go back and play with the team. Josh Jacobs doesn't have that luxury. We mentioned it before. The Raiders have 4 or 5 other running backs. They're running back by committee.
Yeah.
It's not like the way it is in New York. Like think about Daniel Jones right now. He might be the happiest man in New York at the moment. So Josh Jacobs, I still believe, will return at some point, but I just believe Barkley is financially, I think, is in a better spot.
Is there anything, Barney, to that? Do you have any insight on it? Like, if you're sponsored by Pepsi and you decide to sit out, do they have contract, like in the contract saying if you don't play, not due to injury, like we're not paying you to just sit out? Like, it's part of the deal is you got to be on the field unless you're hurt. I get that.
Yeah, I think they're all different. Any deal you would do with any sponsor is different, but I'm sure it has to have something. I mean, his biggest asset is that he's on the field every Sunday and he's drinking a Gatorade or whatever he's doing. He's holding up his visa like that. That has to be in there. But every contract is totally different. But yes, you come back, you get 10. He's still going to be making $20 million with his endorsements, and he hopes to hit a home run after. And I understand when there's a little bit of injuries in the past, you want to be like, listen, well, we just want to see you for 2 straight seasons not get hurt, and we know we just. But in general, they've just decided that this whole market. Dalvin Cook was 19 million, guys, this year. Supposed to make 19 million. He can't get a job right now.
I know.
That speaks volumes. I mean, I'd love to have him in the New York Jets for $4 or $5 million.
Yeah.
But not 19. Like, it's just the way it is.
It's craziness. Speaking of your Jets, I'm sure you saw this video, but if not, we got it. We're going to throw up here in a second. It's Sauce Gardner gifting new quarterback Aaron Rodgers a gift.
My jewelry's favorite quarterback. You know what I mean? Absolutely. He wanted to cook us so special. He thought the idea to me. I said it would be a good idea. I thought it was
Goodness.
Wow. You put it on? Like I'm gonna do it like this.
Do we know how much that costs?
I'm looking that up right now, trying to. That's got to be an insane amount of money. You see the diamonds on that thing?
Yeah. Well, good thing he's not number 12 anymore. That made that a little bit cheaper to buy. You only have to make one number instead of 2, right? So what do you think, Barney? Do you think this Jets team is getting comfortable with each other? Like Aaron Rodgers adapting to, look, he complained for the last 5, 6, 7 years about not having enough talent around him, on the offensive side of the ball. Granted, Gardner's, on the defensive side of the ball. But nonetheless, he is, you think he's rejuvenated being at this young team that has all this talent?
Well, he can wear that to the Swiftie concerts because he certainly can dance and loves being at those. And
yeah.
You think those are real diamonds, right?
I would think that Sauce Gardner could afford real diamonds. Yes.
I think so.
I think Joe Burrow said that. They said, is that real? And he goes, I make too much money for it not to be real.
No kidding. I can't find the price, but it was done by Al the jeweler.
Okay.
Whoever that is.
Yeah. So what do you think, Barney? You think these guys are getting friendly? They're getting comfortable? They're ready to go?
Listen, it looks amazing from being a Jets fan, and I've never been this excited. Will it transfer to a playoff and multiple playoff wins, time will tell. The NFL is a tough league to win in, but U.S. is he rejuvenated? 1,000%. He has said he has not been this happy and more excited and felt so young on the field, and everyone's feeding off. And listen, I feel bad for Zach Wilson because everything's about these teammates and how they adore and, oh my God, what he's brought to our team. And you can just tell by the excitement that he's going to be handing the ball off to Breece Hall, who is poised for a big year after getting hurt and tearing his ACL last year early. Having the weapons and a Garrett Wilson is only going to make him better. And all I see is the highlights from training camp of him hitting Garrett Wilson through the middle or Lazard for a touchdown. So 100%, unequivocally, rejuvenation is the word for Aaron Rodgers with that beautiful necklace.
Beautiful. I love it. Well, Barney, just so you know, we are fresh off a victory in the Parleh, and I see you're wearing your Toronto Blue Jays jersey, despite the fact that you jumped ship the last couple of nights. What is your pick going to be for the Parleh tonight? No pressure. You do not have to pick the Jays game, regardless of what side you're on, but you're welcome to if you'd like.
Well, I'm just wearing the Jays jersey because I was wrong last night, and I blame the umpires. Not that I don't cheer for the Jays, but you know my adage, I just want to make money. And I kind of focus in baseball because I'm not the most massive baseball fan in the world. I do like betting it, so I kind of stick to a team, and the Jays are them. If I'm going to watch them, I'm not going to bet on them. Learn that team, learn the most about them, and either bet them or bet against them. So I am going hard tonight on the
Oh, we lost Barney.
Oh, we lost Barney. I heard we're going hard on the LA, and then I cut. Yeah. And actually, it was almost like I cut him because we didn't want to hear him. So block him. You're still there?
Yeah. No, I'm going hard on the Dodgers tonight. It was minus 155. Now minus 140.
Okay.
And I'm taking the under 9 at minus 110. Go Dodgers, go! But I look good in blue.
All right. I love it, Barney. All right. Thanks for joining us. We are going to have you back, of course, on Thursday. So enjoy the game tonight. Enjoy your Wednesday. We'll see you back here in studio on Thursday. But coming up, Sarah Pararia is going to join us as we get into some Messi talk as he's playing tonight, as well as the Women's World Cup. Canada playing tomorrow morning. She joins us next here on The Parleh Show. All right, welcome back to Bet99's The Parleh Show. Rob Conway, Albert Vartanian joining us, Sarah Pararia, as we get into a little soccer talk, some Messi, some Women's World Cup, and at the end, we're going to talk a little Creed.
Okay.
Can you take me higher?
Yeah.
No.
Anyway, we're going to talk about that as they are reuniting, and we're going to talk about which band would we like to see reunite next. But before that, we talked about it yesterday, but Messi has already played one game. He did pretty good. If you like a game winner from a free kick, with the 94th minute in front of a bunch of celebrities, he did pretty well. But he's playing again tonight. Inter Miami now, a completely different team than the odds. They last place. That's irrelevant at this point. What are your thoughts going into this one?
Yeah, I mean, they're back at home. They're staying at Drive Pink. The stadium was fantastic on Friday night when they faced Cruz Azul, and that's going to keep going. The fans are excited. There's going to be a bunch of new fans that are there that are going to see Vusi and Messi for the first time, so that's going to be motivating them completely. But also, Tata Martino came out and said that most likely Messi and Vusi will be starting and potentially playing the entire 90 minutes, which is absolutely going to change the way Miami play, because we saw the last about half an hour of that Inter-Miami game between Vusi and Messi, and they were on fire, controlling the entire game.
I thought Joseph Martinez was great in that connection as well. Him and Messi already seem to be like buddies.
Yeah.
But on the pitch, it works too.
It works too. Messi's trying to feed him. Excuse me. He's like directing him where to go, and this guy's completely listening. Why wouldn't you listen to him, right? Keeper as well had a great game, I have to say, for Miami. But yeah, the three of them, the two of them especially, if they're playing 90 minutes, this could be really good for Inter Miami. So I think it's Miami's game to lose, right?
Here's a real question, though. Does Messi score again?
Yeah.
You're on it.
Yeah.
A little teaser for the Parleh.
Should we guess the odds? You want to do it?
Sure.
Okay, so I believe in the first game he was minus like 125. Yesterday morning I checked, it was like even money, which I'm sure it's not anymore. What are you going with? I can pull it up right now.
Minus, which is silly. 125.
Minus 117 for Messi to score.
Wow.
That's decent value against Atlanta, right? In
You
this
think that's
game,
value?
if he's playing full 90.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I noticed in that game, sir? I don't know if you agree. I know you have some. I know this show's been filled with technical issues. No
okay.
worries.
Yeah, I just took it off. Sorry, guys.
But it seems like he has a lot more time
Yeah.
on the ball.
Yeah.
And I know, this is the first MLS team he's going to play, and they pressed the ball a lot harder than I think maybe a Cruz Azul did in the last game. I thought Cruz Azul were poor. But I think because he has a lot more space, he has more time to work his magic and do what he does.
Yeah.
Same thing with Busquets.
Yeah, 100%. And I think the fact that they're so much more technically gifted than anyone they're going to be playing
fair.
against, right? Like, you saw some of the plays Messi was pulling against Cruz Azul players. It was incredible. I think the biggest concern here is not on Messi, it's not on Busi, it's that defensive line of Inter Miami. They are shocking. Like, they are poor. So I think Atlanta will score one. I think it's going to be an exciting game. I think both teams are going to score here. I think Messi's going to score, and I think Miami are going to win it.
I like Martinez to score plus 150 against his former team with Messi. What a way to stick it to them, right?
Messi,
what's Messi assist? That's what we got to look
So I was
at.
looking for that actually on Bet99, and I couldn't find it because that to me is where the money I think will be.
Yeah, there's a bunch of first goal scorer props and stuff like that. If you want first goal scorer, for Lionel Messi. What do we got here? First goal scorer. First goal scorer plus Inter to win is plus 500, which is not bad.
I like that.
First goal scorer plus 180, which is not great.
For Messi?
Yeah, first goal scorer.
Yeah, it's tough.
You want at least 2-1 odds, I think.
Yeah, that's a tough one, first goal scorer. But minus 117 for him to find the back of the net
I will
anytime
definitely be betting that.
during the 90
Yeah.
or added time,
Injury time.
injury time.
Same thing.
It is added time.
It's the
isn't
same
it?
thing,
Okay, good. I just want to make sure I'm getting my soccer terms correct or football terms.
There you go.
So Canada's playing tomorrow morning in the Women's World Cup.
Yeah.
Obviously a tough one out of the gate. Didn't score. You did have both teams not to score, so you're not both teams do, but that doesn't matter. I'm not explaining it properly, but one of the teams had to not score, and they both didn't. So you did well on that pick.
There we
That
go.
was our parlay. And now I'm a little surprised here, Canada, in being at minus 150. What do you think
What's
about those?
Ireland?
Ireland is plus 475. The draw is plus 250.
I think that's unfair to Ireland, in my
think so,
opinion.
too.
That's ridiculous. I'd hammer Ireland, honestly.
Oh, come on now. Really?
Why not? Why not sprinkle it? Yeah, that's ridiculous. Ireland had a fantastic game against Australia.
Okay.
They pressed these ladies hard, and Australia, I get it, was without Sam Kerr, but Ireland could have had that game. There were chances in the second half they easily could have scored on Australia. They were unlucky, but that game should have been a draw to me. I think both teams came out really well, but Ireland are way tougher than Nigeria from what I've seen, and they're a way better team as of right now. Canada are going to struggle here. Jessie Fleming, we're still not sure if she's going to start. They were missing her in the middle so much, creating those opportunities. We talked already about Heidema and Grosso needing to step up, but it was really Fleming missing in the middle there. Is Sinky going to start? We don't know. That's a huge question for Priestman, obviously. Are they going to start Lacasse instead? Are they going to start both of them together? Lots of questions here. Kadisha Buchanan is now potentially unavailable for tomorrow's game. I think this game is going to be a nail biter, and I think this game's going to be a lot closer than people are thinking. So honestly, I don't think that's bad odds to hammer Ireland, because I think they have just as much of a chance as Canada does. In fact, Bev Priestman came out and said, there's no way we're going into this like thinking that we're any better than them. They are a tough team, and we have to go in like basically fighting for everything. And they do. They have 1 point.
Yeah, good news for Canada and Fleming. She was seen in training, but she
Yeah.
had some tape on her leg, but that's a good sign. I think they
She
probably
was seen in training the day before.
they
the
might need to
Nigeria
risk her,
game.
honestly. I was looking at some of her
They-
minutes played in the last World Cup. She played every single minute, and the way that Ireland play, they sit back and soak up pressure, which means Canada is going to dominate possession the
Yeah.
entire time. You need someone to unlock that defense, whether it's her or you put
Totally.
like Julia Grosso in the 10.
Yeah.
Whatever the case is, you need a playmaker in the middle of the park there, and Fleming would be a perfect person. I just want to piggyback on that trend. The both teams not to score, or both teams to score is 17.
There we go. That's what I was looking for. That's
is
the term.
17-1 in this tournament.
Yeah.
Really?
17-1. Unders 14-1-1 with one push.
Wow.
There you go.
So listen, I don't know if in this game I feel like both teams will score. I think I'm
Yeah.
with you on that one. But listen, if you want to ride the trend, 17-1, that's legit as it gets, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. No goals in soccer, right?
Hey, but it's not great. I mean, it's not great. It's not great to bet. You probably don't want to watch the game.
No. It's fine.
But I mean, if you're
What
if you're on the
wins, win.
Canada side and you think they win 1-0,
Yeah.
Maybe it's a different way
Speaking
to
of
find
which,
some value.
if they did do that, their price right now to win the group is plus 450. To qualify is minus 286. That seems there. But if they do win this game, technically they control their destiny to that winning the group against Australia. But that's going to be a much tougher, of course, matchup.
Exactly. That's the thing. It's only going to get tougher and tougher. Sam Kerr could be back for that Australia
Yeah.
game. They need 3 points against Ireland. They don't need a draw. They need 3 points. So they have to win this game tomorrow. It's a lot of pressure on these girls. There's no pressure on Ireland. No one thought they were going to get out of the group anyways, right?
Yeah.
So, like, you wonder how much that comes into play. But these Irish girls are aggressive, and they know how to get in people's heads as well. And that's something Bev Priestman also mentioned, saying they can't let these girls get in their heads because once they do, they're going to go downhill. And that's also something I'm worried about because we saw kind of the lack of maybe focus in the first game that the Canadians were lacking with, I don't know, we speculated it could be the off-pitch kind of
Probably.
problems, but we saw that they looked a little out of the game. And they're going against a team that's going to prey on that. So I don't know. It's going to be a really tough fight.
I think the good thing for Canada, they've kind of been in this position before.
Sure.
The last time they won the only time they won the gold medal in the Olympics, they drew their first game against Japan, won the next game against Chile, and then drew at the end there. So they've been in a similar position, but it's just somewhat of a different team, injuries, and listen, no one really wants to say that the off-field stuff is hurting them, but I truly believe it does. Christine Sinclair talked about it before during the She Believes Cup, that it was taxing on them, and they felt that on the pitch.
And you can see it.
So, and this could be a galvanizing moment too, right? They can be like, listen, we need to just shed all that, what, and let's go out and win this game. And then they need to win this group. If they want to avoid some big hitters like England and Germany, you need to win the group.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If they finish out second, they're going against England, and that's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
You like their chances better if you find out Fleming starts?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
She's a game changer. Really quickly, I just want to say, though, regarding that team that was playing in the Olympics versus now, first of all, give credit to Japan because they're a fantastic team. So tying Japan is way different than tying Nigeria, in my opinion. But also, it's not the fact that they drew, because everyone's saying, okay, but they got a point. It's the way they played. Do you know what I mean? They did not look good. It wasn't a draw that they necessarily deserved. I think Nigeria could have won that game.
Yeah.
And that's what's scary. And that's, I think, the biggest issue here is that it's not that they drew, it's the way they played and the lack of kind of, I don't know, motivation they seem to kind of just not have.
Yeah. And if you're waiting on Fleming news and starting lineups usually come out about an hour before kickoff.
Yeah, so that's 7 a.m.
If you want to wait to
morning.
bet, maybe wait an hour before and then lay your money down.
Yeah.
It's score lines are not all the same, as we know. All right, sometimes a 5-0 game is not as bad as it looks, and sometimes a normal draw is really terrible for one of the two teams. So we'll go from that to F1. Just wanted to quickly, a couple things, and we're going to get to Creed, so we want to do quickly here with F1. But the F1 is threatening to block club views in Las Vegas if the casinos don't pay licensing fees. Why? Because the track is going to go right down the strip, which is awesome, by the way.
That's pretty cool.
But they're saying if people are going to be watching this for free from the casinos, from the hotels and all that stuff, then we want some cashola. So that's fine. We get that. But what are your thoughts? Like, I mean, look, you're the ones driving these cars down the middle of the road. We didn't ask you to come here. We're Las Vegas. You want to be part of the Sin City, the whole thing that's going on, then we get a little benefit from it.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it in so much sport these days with the money grab of it all, and it's just kind of sickening at this point. They did choose Vegas. They want to be in Vegas, the formula. And I get it. It's such a prestigious, sport that they want to get all this money for it, and they don't want to allow people to just watch it for free. But not that it is free, because they're paying to stay in these hotels as well at the specific time. So they're paying a ton, because Vegas is so expensive already. If you're going during F1 weekend, forget about it. But something about, like, for example, Monaco. When they're racing in Monaco, they have people, you can see them flooding their balconies, like the apartment buildings. They're not charging those people. For sure, there are people that are renting out, apartments or Airbnbs or hotels.
At a
totally
crazy price.
Yeah, exactly. But there are people that also live there. And then you can see them gather around. It's such a nice scene.
Yeah.
And it's like exactly what you said. They chose to do it in Vegas. These are hotels that people are already spending so much on. This is just... like, I'm exhausted.
Go build a circuit in the desert, and then none of the.
They did.
But
It's called
Formula
Jeddah.
Formula One, they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
Vegas has the money. Vegas wants it there. They kind of have Vegas by the cojones, you know what I'm saying? And listen, they do this with movies. So when they shoot movies in Toronto, around condo buildings, they shine lights up at the buildings so you can't see what's going on. So maybe the Formula One could do something like that. I
Maybe.
think they realize there's money out there. Vegas is going to pay up.
It is what it is. You know who could do the opening whatever show or halftime shows from halftime?
Here we go.
It's Creed. Creed is getting back together. If you don't remember Creed, they are a band from the late 90s, early 2000s that had many hits. They're getting back together on a cruise. I think it's something about the year 1999. We have a video here of what they can do at a halftime show. We're going to play this for you, Sarah. Have you seen this before? This is Creed. Look what they got involved here. Let's go.
This is so freaky
Yeah.
to me.
All right. So we're excited to have Creed back. If you're a big Creed guy, Albert, you know a few tracks, right?
I know a few tracks. Yeah.
I thought you said you were going to sing.
them?
Yeah.
I just don't know the lyrics.
Can you take
I just do like the
me?
thing.
Everyone
Yeah.
knows that.
I just
Anyway,
do the-
so we're going to talk here about what band would you like to see reunited? I know mine. I've talked about it on the show. Noel and Liam get back together. I want to see Oasis. What about you, Albert?
I'm not like a big band guy. I think we
Yeah.
had a discussion like this before, and I was like, Mobb Deep, if Prodigy can come back.
Oh,
from
right,
the
right,
dead.
right, yeah.
Maybe I love Black Sabbath.
Okay.
So if Ozzy and the boys can come back, if Ozzy can still do it, he might. He might have like one or two songs.
Crazy
in it, so
Train?
let's go Black Sabbath.
All right,
man.
what do you got?
Creed
Sam?
would probably be at the bottom of the list.
This one's tricky because mine would be, like, I spoke with James Sharman about this, but they're all bands that someone has unfortunately passed away.
Yeah.
Those would be the big ones.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine seeing, like, a Queen, Led Zeppelin? I've seen
Yeah.
Robert Plant, but not Led Zeppelin altogether. Nirvana.
Hector
I would
Lavoe, Willie
die.
Cologne?
Nirvana? Okay. Nirvana would be good, obviously.
But
Kurt
what I
Cobain,
did say
but yeah.
was Spice Girls.
Spice Girls?
initially for one that is, but they also did a tour united already without Posh. But bring Posh in.
All right.
Coming out Spice Girls.
Okay,
Bring Posh
well, Sarah,
back.
you're sticking around for the parlay that had a big night. We'll talk about that, and we'll bring Sean McCormick on. We got to get the guy from last night who was also part of the team that got it done at plus 670. That's coming up after this as we wrap the show. All right, we are back to wrap the show with arms wide open.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'll do that all day. All day. Luckily, I'm
Bobby
leaving
sings.
soon. Yeah.
I missed a hell of a show.
Rob Conway, Albert Danny, and Sarah Perari now joining us. Sean McCormick, it is time for the parlay, and we are coming off a
look
big
at
win.
that.
Look at that. Here we go. Okay. Making a mess here in the studio.
Nice.
Double
138.
confetti. Yeah, we were plus 670 yesterday.
Sorry.
We had what do we have? We had the under.
Yes.
We
The
had the
Jays.
Orioles, and we had the Jays.
Yeah, three-teamer.
Nice.
Pretty
Hammer.
good.
Perfect.
Plus 670.
And now
Well,
we
we're
got
going a lot bigger today because
Five
there are
leg.
five legs to this parlay. We'll start with you, Albert. What do you got?
Give me Corbin Burns and the Brewers. They destroy the Reds 9-2, and he's been on fire. Hottest pitcher in baseball. So let's go with the Brewers. Gotta lay some juice, but I like the Brewers.
Corbin Brewer, yeah, he's been better. He had a terrible start to the
No.
season, but he's been really good. But Ellie De La Cruz and the Reds, you never know.
That's okay. One home run's not gonna hurt the Brewers.
Sean McCormick.
I'm going to go with the Astros. I think there'll be a lot of runs in this game, but I'm just going to rely on the pitching of J.P. France to get it done for the Astros. Jordan Alvarez could be back for the Astros as well, which would be a big bolster to their lineup. So I'm going Astros.
Okay, Sarah Pararia, what do we got?
Let's go, Sarah.
Lionel Messi, anytime goal scorer.
Oh!
For Inter Miami. Come on, hammer the goat, minus 117. That's easy money.
I
love
like
that
it.
bet.
I like it. And I'm going back to the well. Taylor Wells. Oh, it was just if he was pitching, that would have
Tyler
been so
Wells,
good.
no.
Tyler Wells? No, he's not pitching. It's Kyle Gibson. But it's the Orioles plus 105. That's what I'm going. And Barney, as you heard earlier in the show, he's got under 9 with the Jays and Dodgers. He picked 2, and Albert and I made an executive decision we were not going against the Jays.
Total.
Yeah, don't cheer against the home team.
So
What's
so
that pay?
that is plus 105, minus 110, minus 140, minus 117, and minus 150 for a beautiful plus 1975.
Caramba, 100 pays almost 2,000
Yeah.
bananas.
Love
Yes.
it.
I'm in.
Pays
I won't
200.
be in tomorrow.
Yeah, 100 pays almost 2,000. Yeah, we're going out for a dinner if that hits.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we're red hot, so it's gonna, right?
Hell yeah, man. I'm telling you, that Messi goal is a lock.
If we
That's
win,
a lock. Of
if
the
we
Yeah,
win,
I'm not worried about me.
I'm not even worried about that pick.
if we win, that's only gonna take me
No.
higher.
No.
It's been a great show. I've had a great time. Hey, a little bit more confetti for the team. Well, we had a pretty rough start off with the technical difficulties, but after that, we've cruised right in. We've had a great time. Thank you very much.
figured it out.
Albert, Sean, Sarah, myself, I'm Rob. We'll be back tomorrow. It'll be Wednesday right here on Bet 99's The Parlay Show. Hammer that parlay today. We are red hot.